Hello and welcome to Friday's bonus edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're continuing this run of videos that we're making on Friday mornings, basically live solving the Friday Times crossword as a sort of masterclass exercise. Now, as usual, Friday is the hardest day of the week this week. The SNITCH is right up there. That's the sort of unofficial measure of the difficulty of the times. I am late starting this today. It's 2 minutes past 11. I normally try and do these videos earlier in the day, but I have got delayed today because I had to do my lumberjack duty in the garden, and it turns out I'm not a very good lumberjack. Anyway, let's have a look. Hopefully I've got this window the right size. I can hear Maverick has just taken off in the distance, and here we go. One across. A number of sheep, possibly, but not goats. I like the clue. I don't know what it. I don't have a clue what it's talking about. Number of sheep, possibly. A foldful, but not goats. I feel like almost my brain is sort of on the verge of understanding that, but it really hasn't. So let's try this one. Conservative legislation covering university that's growing and tricky to handle. Well, C is normally conservative. It can be Tory as well, but here, with it being at the start of the clue, I'm thinking C. Legislation, I'm thinking law. Covering university, I'm thinking U. So as I was reading the clue, I was trying to shuffle those letters around in my brain. But the that's growing thing and tricky to handle. I think I need a different word. Rule for legislation. Curule. If I keep thinking of cruel. No, okay, this is not a good start. One down, we'll try. Church is replacing contents of sanctum, hence division. Surely that is going to be schism, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, I wanted it to be schism, and then it took me some moments to see why. Okay. There are two abbreviations that come up all the time in cryptic crosswords for church. One of them is CH, which is indeed the right one here. The other is CE for Church of England. Let's just deal with something we deal with every week, but I think it deserves iteration or repetition. And that is that abbreviations come up all the time in cryptic crosswords, but you can't just abbreviate anything. Let's look at 9. This clue contains the word novelist. Can we abbreviate the word novelist to N? No, we cannot, because if I go to the dictionary and I type in N and I go through all of the abbreviations for N, you can see there are loads of them, including the famous Ngultrum, the Bhutanese currency. You will not find amongst these N's here any novelist. There's no novelist. So N and novelist you cannot use, or you can't use N as a abbreviation for novelist. Now church, CH, we go back to the dictionary. I do CH. You will see here, hopefully, church. It's the last one, but it is there. As well as champion, chaplain, chapter. You wouldn't see many of these in the Simple Times crossword. Some of them would, well, any of them could appear in the listener crossword. You might see chapter in the Times. I think that would be the only other one that you'd see very often. So how is this clue working? Well, we're putting CH and is, the actual word is, as the contents of the word sanctum. So we're taking out the middle of the word sanctum, the ANCTU and U, and we're replacing it with CHIS. That gives us a division of a church, indeed, a schism. Now, let's go back to this. Number of sheep, 7. But not goats. Why can't I get that? That's so poor. Let's try 9. Oh, this is the novelist. Novelist, a little tip for the Times crossword. I don't know about other crosswords, but the Times is the sort of the gold standard, I think, of daily cryptic crosswords. You won't find living people as the answer unless they are the king. I'm trying to think if there is any other exception to that. I have a feeling there's one other exception, but I can't remember which it is. So this will not be the name of a novelist that's alive which might help us narrow it down. So novelist includes arresting incident in printed version. Ooh. I haven't got this. I haven't even got a clue, really. I mean, again, it bears reiteration. Most cryptic crossword clues, all cryptic crossword clues, contain a simple definition of the answer. And most of the time, that definition is either at the start or the end of the clue. So it's very tempting here to think that this is the name of an old novelist. But words like includes, novelist includes, that's suggesting wordplay to me. That's suggesting we find a novelist and we put inside that novelist a word for an arresting incident, which I mean, it's not a phrase that is shouting short synonyms at me. I'm thinking collar for an arresting incident. I don't know that. 12 across. Start of season, that's probably S, the starting letter of the word season. Not good guide for followers of game. Ooh. Start of season, not good guide for followers of game. Wisdom. I don't know again, but right, let's try 2 down. With little between sides. New indicator of how to proceed. Signal? It's not signal, I'm sure. It's going to be... I mean, I think that this is a word which means an indicator of how to proceed, which is why I thought of signal. I'm trying to get into the wordplay here. I'm thinking between the sides. Well, the sides could be the right and left of something. So I was thinking R and L or L and R. But then what's new doing? New is probably N. So that would suggest L at the start and then 3 letters RN. And we need a word for little, like wee, sween. Sween, that's not a word. It's not an indicator of how to proceed. Okay, so I don't know that one either. This is going terribly badly. Let's try. Well, I can see that's an anagram immediately. Not predictable, i.e. can turn haphazardly. We need to treat the letters. So I'm trying not to sneeze. Sneezing is not good in videos. I.e. can and turn haphazardly. So we need to jiggle them about. And if something is not predictable, it is oh, come on. I can't be not doing anagrams as well. Not predictable. No, I can't. So I keep thinking of stochastic and things like that, but it's clearly nothing like that complicated, I don't think. Not predictable. Golly, okay, I can't even do anagrams today, apparently. In this order, abbot takes precedence over bishop and cardinal. In this order. I wonder if this is the name of an order of, friars or something like that. Abbot takes precedence over bishop. Cardinal can be numbers. Again, that strikes me as just a difficult clue. Right, let's carry on. 6 down. From opening that's inconclusive. White, finally, in superior position. Okay, so we need a word for an opening that's not going to end. And then we're probably adding that to an E for the word finally, of what the word white, white's final letter. I mean, and it all means in superior position. So it's going to be a word like above. No, I'm not getting it. Bother. Check every letter in answer, or one in... But it's not really a masterclass at the moment. It's a masterclass in how not to solve the crossword. Check every letter in answer, or one in box in case. Golly, I mean, that's another of these clues that I just move on from. I have no idea what that's talking about. We're going to have to get some letters or really devote some time to it. Kind of crook who does all he can to make a living, ? So I think this is going to be a sort of cryptic definition. Who does all he can to make a living. Kind of crook. So we're looking for some sort of, like a burglar or something, who does all he can to make a living. I don't know. Wow, what a puzzle this is. One of those who's affected, returned ornamental art. What? Bonsai? I'm going to put bonsai in. I don't think it's right, but I was just trying to think of a word for an ornamental art. And it has got one of those. It is. I think it is that. Yeah, it is. Wow. Okay, that's just very lucky. And I only got that by thinking of a word for an ornamental art. Now, is this I at the end. One is a. You might say a banana, meaning one banana. Those who's affected, a snob is somebody who's affected, and we return that string of letters and we get bonsai, which is an ornamental art. Now the only problem with this is look at these checking letters we get. Absolutely useless. So we shall probably not dwell on that. Let's go into 13. Area supporting crazy ideas introduced earlier. Area supporting it's aforesaid, isn't it? Wow, it means introduced earlier. So area can be abbreviated to A. If you're supporting something, you're for it. If you treat the letters of the word ideas in a crazy way, you might anagram them, and that would give you aforesaid, which means introduced earlier. That is not easy. Let's try 14. Its playfully revolutionary movement produces moving reflections. What on earth is that talking about? Its playfully revolutionary movement. Is this something like kaleidoscope or something? Is that something that you might in play turn? And it does produce moving reflections. I mean, it's almost like a definition. I mean, if that kaleidoscope, I mean, it might be kaleidoscope. I'm not sure enough to put it in actually. If it was, this would be an S. Let's just see if that gives us emphasis. Could be stress. Shifts about time for fellow craftsmen. Something like silversmiths or something. Emphasis, stress. Emphasis. Shifts about time. Oh, okay, so it's an anagram, is it? It's an anagram of emphasis. We're going to shift the word emphasis about T for time, and it's going to mean fellow craftsman, which, what's that going to be? IS, no, it can't be if I need an S at the start. Fellow craftsman. Shape something? Don't know. Not sure. I think that's probably the right way to read the clue, but again, I'm not seeing the anagram. Let's try 16 down. This at least would be useful in terms of starting letters. Okay, I can do this one. This is actually probably the easiest clue we've had. Old man's weapon that's needed to deal with challenge. Okay, now your old man is your father or your pa, short synonym for father. Apostrophe S, let's add that S in then. A weapon is a sword. That gives us password, and that's something you might need to deal with a challenge. If somebody said who goes there, you might be allowed through if you know the password. So I think password is good, and that's at least given us some hopefully useful starting letters. 18 across. Depict pain that's mistreated. Again, that seems like an anagram, but we haven't got 12 letters there, have we? Unless that is being used for IE as in that is, but that would be an indirect anagram. I don't like that. So I feel like it's more likely to be an anagram of depict pain. Maybe with the word is at the end, and it means a reason for an operation. So appendicitis is going to work, isn't it, I think? Wow. Appendicitis. Appendicitis, that sounds right, doesn't it? 2 I's. Yeah, so I haven't checked the anagram, but I think that's probably an anagram of depict pain followed by is, and that is the is in the clue. And that well, let's carry on trying to use these starting letters. No sprinter. Maverick is positively buzzing round at the moment. No sprinter. Slow coach. Love it. That's right. Okay, so the only reason, again, we solved that is we had the starting letter, and I managed to read the clue correctly. So I stopped after the word sprinter and just paused for an instant to say, could that be the definition? And if somebody's no sprinter, they're a slow coach. And that gave me the answer. Succeeded can be S. Let's just demonstrate that. That's a slightly unusual anagram. I think this comes from sort of family trees and heraldry. Succeeded, there it is. With inferior, if something's inferior, it's of low quality, and a trainer is a coach. So that's okay. So this part of the grid is yielding more fruit, isn't it? 24. Famous actor Olivier ousting second one for title role in musical. Well, food, glorious food. Consider yourself. As long as he needs me. My name. Strong men tremble when they hear it. My favourite musical as a boy was, of course, Oliver by Lionel Bart. And a famous actor, Laurence Olivier, oust the second one, the second I is the Roman numeral for number 1. We get Oliver. So that one almost tripped off the tongue, if you can ignore my singing. 26. Be repelled by both sides in dispute and subsequent trial. Yeah, okay. So this means be repelled by. That is the definition. So let's see if we can then get it from the wordplay. Both sides in dispute. What does that mean? Well, it literally means take both of the sides of the word dispute. Well, that's D and E. The D is the start, the E is the end. And let's add a 4-letter word for a trial, because we need to put and subsequent trial is saying after you've put the D and E, subsequent to it, you put a word that means trial with the shortest synonym. The easiest word for trial is test. If you put D and test together, you get detest, which means be repelled by. Now, can we get this? I'm not going to look at the clue. Sometimes I like to do this because I think it will help me. It hasn't here. I don't know what that is. Source of succinct. That's probably S, the source letter of the word succinct. Statement, a page I inserted in short revision. Oh, goodness me. I mean, there's a lot going on there. A page I inserted in short. I think it's going to mean a short revision, is it? Source of succinct statement. I don't know what that is either. I hate leaving these behind as well, because obviously I'm not going to get any more help from this. So really I should force myself to think about this properly and solve it. Otherwise it's like, you know, it's like something that just niggles away at your brain. Let's see if this is cress. Section of lawn. No, it's chess. Okay, there's always one of these in every Times crossword, or almost every Times crossword. They are, I suppose, the easiest clues if you can read them correctly. Now here we're being told to take a section of a string of letters. So if you were to write out launch essentially and look inside the phrase launch essentially, you can see spelled out CHESS, chess. And in which master, like a grandmaster or an international master, gets mates on board. Well, it's not talking about getting, sort of a crew on board a ship. It's talking about getting checkmates on board a chessboard. So that's right. Let's go back to this. Source of succinct. That's S, surely. Statement. I don't know what that is. Statement. A page I inserted. That makes me want to put API inside, but I can't. Statement. A short revision. So maybe I've got to think about this differently then. So maybe it means source. A succinct statement would be a what? The gist of something? I hope appendicitis isn't wrong. Let's try 11 down. Grand female in rather dated ball in which everyone can be seen. Goldfish bowl? Oh, that's going to be right. I have no idea why it fits, and it's obviously something in which everybody can be seen in a goldfish bowl. So grand is probably G. Female in rather... Oh, female will be F. In rather dated, if something's rather dated, it's oldish, isn't it? Oldish. And then a ball is a bowl. As in cricket, if you... your first ball is actually your first bowl, isn't it? So goldfish bowl is going to be good there. But look, we're running out of these lovely checking letters that are in any way useful. We could give 15 down. Oh no, we've looked at that. Let's try this one. Part of body and part of that sport. Football. Part of the body is the foot, and part of that. Oh, it is football. That's quite clever, actually. I like that. So a part of the body is your foot, and a part of your foot is the ball of your foot. And put them together, you get football, which is a sport. That's clever. Very nice. Right, article run in magazine that provides useful explanations. Glossary. Yeah, okay, that's right. So, and again, you can see how I'm sort of riffing on definitions that I think could be, or parts of the clue that could be the definition. So, how does this work? Well, I only worked that out subsequent to guessing the word glossary. A glossy is a magazine. An article, the indefinite article, is A. The definite article is the. Run is R. That's from cricket scoring. So we put glossy around AR because the A and the R are in the magazine. We get glossary, and that is something that provides useful explanations. Now let's try that one then. Ring with a small amount of power. What's that? A watt, isn't it? It's Ottawa. Canadian capital, I think. So what we've got here is ring. That's a letter that looks like a ring, which is O. A small amount of power is a watt, and that's raised because it's a down clue. That's indicating a reversal. So imagine this was an across clue, 19 down. You couldn't use raised to indicate a reversal, because if we raise a watt, it's not saying turn it from right to left, is it? It's very explicitly turning it upside down. So raised can be used as a reversal indicator in a down clue, and capital Ottawa. Let's try that one. 20. Provide another view, replay of answer with another briefly reply. Yes, okay, so it's reply, which is a type of answer, isn't it? With A in it, if you like. An A as in a Q&A. That's question and answer. So that's demonstrating why A can be an abbreviation for answer. And if you provide another view of a sporting event or something, you replay it. Joint, leader in church, may let it go to his head. Title, mitre. Oh. Isn't there a mitre joint, actually? I think I won't look at the dictionary here, because that's cheating. And unless I'm committing to putting that answer and potentially getting the clue wrong, which I'm not yet. But I will only look at the dictionary to sort of show you guys why abbreviations work and things like that until after I've submitted the puzzle. So I think there is a mitre joint. I think I've heard of that. And a leader in a church might put a mitre. Mitre is kind of, I want to say, a bishop's hat on his head. So I think that might be right. Now let's see. Emphasis. Okay. Something Smiths. Oh no, hang on. Hang on. Though, is appendicitis wrong then? Is that why this P's giving me trouble? I don't know. I want to put Smiths at the end of this. For fellow craftsmen. But what on earth are we going to be left with then? What are we going to be left with? Are we left with P, are we? P and A. Appy Smiths. No. I refuse to believe. P. Fellow craftsmen. Oh, no, I do not like this. I've done something wrong here, I think. Oh no, hang on, Smiths doesn't work even. I've only got one eye. Okay, so if it was Smiths, it really looks like this 15 down is ending in the word Smiths, doesn't it? Which is, Smith is such a good word for a craftsman. Right, so what have we got then? We're going to have S, M, I. The T is given by time, H and S, which is going to be leaving me with A, P, and E. Ape Smiths. P Smiths. Oh. Shipmates. That was really mean. Okay. All right, that fooled me. I got sidetracked. I was convinced it was about the Smiths, and then I needed to think about boats. And once you think about boats, you think of shipmates, and then I've got it. Okay, so that's appalling, absolutely appalling solving. Mea culpa. Forgive me. Okay, let's have a look at that. So now I quite like kaleidoscope now. I really didn't before, but kaleidoscope. It's one of those things where I wonder whether that O is correct. Is it kaleidoscope or kaleidoscope? Oh, now. No, that doesn't look right to me. Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope. There's no wordplay that's going to help me there. I do wonder, though, that might be an error. It's a sort of, it's not a word I write very often. I don't know. It's probably from Greek, isn't it? And I don't never studied any of the classical languages. So this could be a ricket, but we will have to carry on. Not predictable. Uncertain. Oh, how can I not get that? Oh, my goodness, that's appalling. Right, now what's this then? The novelist includes arresting incident in printed version. Hard copy. Well, it must be hard copy. Hardy. Okay, so we've got the Mayor of Casterbridge author. And cop. Okay, if you cop somebody, you do arrest them. So, okay, well, that's fair enough. That was gettable. And that's giving me a P in this one. In this order, abbot takes precedence over bishop and cardinal. I mean, bishop, what could bishop be? It can be B, it can be RR for Right Reverend, but it doesn't look like it's that here. Oh, I've got it. That's brilliant. Okay, we have to really think outside the box here. It's nothing to do with churches and orders. It's to do with alphabets. Alphabetical. And in an alphabetical order, the abbot, the A, would take precedence over bishop and cardinal. That's beautiful. That's quite simply beautiful. I love that clue, and it completely foxed me. Right, but we're still in the running. Apart from kaleidoscope, might be spelt wrong. 12 across. Start of season, not good, poor. Guide follows again. Spore. Yes, okay. So it's nothing to do with sort of. I was thinking of football fans. Because that's what the constructor was trying to make me think about. But here, it's people who are hunting, and they might follow the spoor of the prey. Now, with little between sides, narrow. That's so mean. It's another. I mean, this is something that. Who was I speaking to about this? I was at a dinner recently with Jason, and Jason's one of the setters for the Times, and Jason was saying that he really enjoys setting clues that mislead the experienced solver. And here, when I read with little between sides, I'm immediately convinced that that is wordplay, and I need to put a word for little between two abbreviations for sides. That's just how I want to read the clue. Whereas actually, that's the definition here. So it's talking about something that is narrow, and then we've got N for new, and an indicator of how to proceed is narrow. So arrow gives us narrow. So Jason Crampton, of course, is the setter in question. So number of sheep possibly, but not goats. Number of sheep. It's not going to be something like like a tranquilizer of sheep, but that's not used on goats. Something that numbs them. Number. I think I'm going to like the answer to this, so let's just give this a moment or two longer. But not goats. What is that second letter there? I'm thinking of what I'm trying to make it a Y at the moment in my brain, just to tell you where my brain is going. Number. Oh, song. Is it a number as in a song, perhaps? Of sheep, possibly. I didn't actually double check the anagram. That is uncertain, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. But not goats. What are goats? Capricorn. Number of sheep. You count sheep to go to sleep. Number of sheep. Is it something to do with congregation, your flock? It would give me some solace if I could say singular. Yeah, I think it is singular. So I think this is playing on the fact that sheep, could be a singular, as in one sheep, couldn't it? That's how we would say it. If there's a sheep there, you say that's a sheep, whereas you couldn't say that's a goat. So I think it's playing on the difference between the fact that the plural for the word sheep is, of course, also sheep. We wouldn't say there's a group of sheeps. So I quite like that one as well. It's really hard. It's really hard to solve that cold. I only got it because I had all the checking letters, but I think that is going to be right. Now, let's see if we can get... with this one, I had no idea. Let's try 8 down. Oh, this is the kind of crook. We might be able to get the swindler. Yeah, okay. It's lovely again. It is a cryptic definition. And I was sort of on the right line. I passed the clue correctly. I just didn't think of the word and the connotations of it. But a swindler is somebody who cons people. And what is a synonym for the word con? If you do somebody, you con them. So somebody who does all he can is conning everybody that they can to make a living. It's another very, very nice clue. So swindler, I'm confident about. So check every letter in answer. Or one in box, in case. There's a lot going on there. Check every letter. I almost want to, take alternate letters in this string, or one in box. Oh. What's to box? To spar? In case. Check every letter in answer, or one in box, in case. Oh, my phone's falling out of my pocket. That's not good. Check every letter. Don't know. Let's see if... Oh, we've got this one. Conservative legislation. I feel very confident this begins with C. So we're looking for a word that means... I think it's going to mean growing and tricky to handle. Like if a plant is, what is it then? Legislation. Act. Cactus. Yes. Gosh. Okay, so it is a plant and that's what growing is doing. It's trying to hint at something that is growing. And obviously a cactus is tricky to handle because it would prickle you. Now, this could be above then, but I didn't like that. From opening that's inconclusive. White finally in superior position. I don't know. I don't like above because I can't justify it. I can put it in, obviously it does fit, but I have to be able to explain it. And I'm just lost as to how I can explain how that gives. White finally must be the letter E. It just must be. So I need ABOV to be from opening. That's inconclusive. I'm not seeing how to do that. Okay, if that's wrong, then I need to think of another word which means in superior position. afor. If you're at the foreground. Oh no, afor and aforesaid can't cross, can they? Let's just think about that for a moment. From opening. An opening is an aperture. From could be of. If you're from somewhere, you're of that place. That would give an F here. I don't know. Let's try this one. What's this? Let's actually look at this again without looking at the clue. So, can I think of any word that fits? And the answer is so far no. No, I can't. Check. Testidus or something like that. Is there some word like that? Testado reminds. I think that might be a word. Check every letter in answer. If you check something, you test it. Every letter A to Z in answer. Or one in box in case. What? I haven't. What on earth is this talking about? Check. I want that to be. I so want that to be test. And then every letter in answer. Or one in box in case. I don't know. I haven't got a clue what this is. So we're really, I mean, it's almost like I've made a mistake with these checking entries, but I think they are all correct. Let's go back to 17. Source of succinct statement. This is be a spoofist or something. Maybe it is something ist. A page. That could be AP. Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay. So it is going to be, and then I is going to be inserted in a short word. Approvist? No. Okay. A short revision. Short revision. Oh, come on, Simon. What is going on here? Why have I got that dreaded blue circle thing? It's not going to turn. My machine isn't about to turn off, is it? At a source of a succinct statement. And again, I'm starting to think this puzzle is by Jason. I wouldn't surprise me because again, source of succinct is so clearly saying to me the letter S, and yet now I'm convinced that the definition here is the source of a succinct statement. I just can't think what it is. Why can't I get this? Why is my brain not working? Brain, come on, brain. I'm tired of you now. I'm tired of you being useless. AP. So I then, well, that's going to be this I, I'm sure it is. Inserted into in short revision. So we've got something like blank O blank ST probably blank because we're shortening the word for revision. Unless the S is wrong. Source of a succinct statement. Aphorist. Oh, it's going to be an aphorism is a succinct statement, isn't it? Why is this right then? AP. Oh, it's an anagram of short. This is just infuriating. How can it be that? All right, okay, it's an anagram of short. Short is being revised. Right, okay. I now no longer trust anything in this puzzle. I'm actually convinced this is, but I'm going to call it. This is a puzzle by Jason Crampton. Jason, I know that you do watch these videos. If it's you, you have to own up, okay? Right. So check every letter in answer. Or one in box. One. I'm wondering if it ends in or, testador or something. Every letter in answer. A to R. Is that testator? Oh yes, it'll be testator. Every letter in the word answer would be the A to the R, and that would give us A to R. And check is a test, and a testator is a word. Testator is somebody who looks after your will. Or one in box in case. I mean, your last or one in box in case. This is. I'm sure this is testator. I don't quite understand it. The definition, I think, is one in box in case, and I think it's some sort of cryptic reference to dying, and dying with a will. But I'm not quite understanding the definition. But I'm sure the wordplay has given me testator, so I'm very comfortable with. I click submit on this. One in box in case. Maybe testator has another meaning in law that I don't know, and that's why I'm not understanding. Oh, okay, yes. Oh, I'm thinking witness box. So maybe a testator is not just something to do with a will. Maybe it's somebody who attests to evidence in a case. In which case, one in the witness box in a criminal case would be a testator. So okay, so now this I will look up because I'm entering testator. I'm not going to change that answer, but I'm just interested now to see if my knowledge of things. Oh no, see, it's not there. Testator is just somebody who leaves a valid will. Well, I question that, to be honest. Because to test is to attest legally. So somebody who does that would be a testator. So I suspect there is a legal definition of the word testator, which is not just somebody who leaves a will, but somebody who witnesses something in a criminal case. I can't prove it, and I'm not changing my answer, but that is how I think that clue is meant to work. So we're just left with this naughty old clue. So from opening that's inconclusive, white finally in superior position. I mean, one thing I will say to you is that you'll notice that at no point in my reading of this clue until this moment have I even mentioned chess. This clue is not about chess. Okay, it's not about chess being in a superior position. It means in superior position or a superior position. So it's things like aloft or ahead or atop or afore or above. I mean, it wants to be above. It desperately wants to be above, but I can't justify it. So we're going to have to think again. If it's not above, what is it? A superior position is not an abode. I don't like that. We've tried afore. What else could it be? Don't know. Anode. No, I don't like anode at all. We might have to go with above. Oh, sorry, I knocked the microphone on the basis I can't think of anything else. But I really, really don't want to do that. I would much rather explain it to you in the video if I can. In superior position. From opening that's inconclusive. Something that doesn't conclude an opening. I mean, what could it be? Or in superior position. Maybe I could do it by doing a dictionary trawl. I don't like the thought of doing that, I have to say. Let's try. Sometimes it can help with dictionary trawls to try that letter rather than the second letter. So let's just quit Adobe. It's not going to be that. Let me just quickly try and think about that. Awoke. That's inconclusive. White finally in superior position. No, I don't like that. Wow, why can't I get this? My brain has let me down today. I'm very displeased with you, brain. I'm very displeased with you. Oh, golly. I mean, the thing is, if you were doing this at speed, you might just slap in above and just move on. But when you have to explain them all, from opening that's inconclusive, why is that? Why is that giving me ABOV? Why? I don't think it is. From opening. That's inconclusive. There are no other words apart from above that end AB, that are ABOV blank. There are none. White finally in superior position. I mean, maybe I should think of a for. That would mean in a superior position. If you're ahead of something, you are for it, I think. Why could that work? From opening that's inconclusive. I don't know. From opening that's inconclusive. I don't like that either. I'm really sorry about this. But I don't want to just slap the wrong thing in and not be able to explain it. It doesn't seem to be me, or it doesn't seem to me to be the point of these videos. Let me think again. Come on. Let's go. I'm going to go dictionary trawl. If you're in a superior position, you are... I don't know. There's a lot of words that fit. I mean, words like adore also come to mind, but I don't see how to convert those into something that means anything to do with a clue. Agone. I think there's probably a word. Agone. Agony. That would be inconclusive, but it's not a word that means an opening. What's an opening? Beginning with beginning with A, 5 letters. A blank O blank blank. An opening. An opening is an aperture. It is a door. It's not that, is it? It's not. I mean, the A would be, no, it would have to be door. From. White finally in superior position. It's not a door. An opening. I have thought as well, by the way, that it could be a word for from that's opening, that's inside. Something that means that's inconclusive. But that just feels very difficult to pass to me. Oh, are we going to be left with above, are we? In superior position. A tone. Superior position. Or is it a superior position at an abbey, if you were sort of a mother superior? Maybe it's a religious word. From opening, that's inconclusive. From opening. From. Well, I mean, if I'm reading some of these clues correctly, maybe I'm reading the clue entirely wrong, or wrongly. Maybe it's the word that means. I don't even know what it could mean. Maybe it means from. Wow, this is awful, isn't it? G. I think I've almost given it enough that I just don't want to. I don't want to. I've got a horrible feeling about that as well. No, I hate the way that looks. I'm going to keep that. From opening that's inconclusive. White finally. White can be W. Finally in superior. I mean, I wonder whether A could be from. I have a feeling that might be justified by the dictionary. Then I'd be looking for a word for an opening that was blank O blank blank. And we would shorten that. But again, I'm just keep coming back to trying to make it above somehow. I mean, could FOR blank give me a word for an opening? An opening is a chance, isn't it? It's an opportunity. It's a door. It's an opening. I don't know. I have to go with above. I don't understand it. Let's see. Well, it's right. But that's not very satisfying. I appreciate that. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I feel awful about that, because at least my kaleidoscope was spelt correctly. What is going on with this clue then? From opening. Let me just see whether I'm right that A can mean from. I know it has a funny... Where is it? Yeah, look at that. A with an accent can mean from or of, as in Thomas à Kempis. I mean, is it possible that that's what's going on here? And then we'd have... I mean, there's no words that begin bov that are 4 letters, so I don't really even know why I'm looking at this. Bov. No, there's nothing. I don't think there's any words that are A-B-O-V that are not above. Let's just do a check on that. And there won't be any, no. So, from opening that's inconclusive. From A, opening that's inconclusive. B-O-V. There's no funny abbreviations or something, is there? I'm really sorry. I feel terrible about this. If I spot and understand the clue, I will put I'll either put a comment on the video or I will put something in the video description to explain what's going on. I think I'm probably just being very daft, and I've got in my own way, and I just have to read the clue in the correct way, and it will all become clear, and I'll feel very, very silly. But if it's and if it's that, I'll also feel very guilty. But from, I mean, it's not ab for from, is it? I think, can ab mean from? An abdominal muscle. I mean, ab as a prefix can mean from. And that would allow us to have a word for opening, O-V-E. Opening that's inconclusive. So we need the... No, it would have to be O-V, wouldn't it? Over? O-V-A, that's an eggs. We're looking for... Okay, what I'm wondering now is if it's ab for from, a 3-letter word for an opening that's not finished, and then the E for the white finally, because we do need to justify the E. Opening that's inconclusive. Or maybe... I don't know. I'm really confused by this. Or maybe that's what it's saying, a from opening. Maybe opening is indicating the prefix here. So it's a from opening, which could be AB. That's inconclusive. Why would OV mean that's inconclusive? It just doesn't, I don't think. I'm still desperately trying to justify this. I can't do it. I'm not doing a very good job. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll stop there. It's been an hour, and I have got the puzzle correct. I just don't understand this answer, and hopefully it all will be revealed in due course. Maybe by Jason himself once he admits to setting this puzzle. But thank you very much for watching. My slow brain today. We'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.